stars and lava lamplight. Nostalgia Mania, let your memories fly. Toys R Us tears in a surge soda high. From hair gel spikes to butterfly clips, we're bringing it back. No skips, just hits. Nostalgia Mania, come take the trip.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to another edition of Nostalgia Mania, episode 32 to be exact. I am your host, the Real Josh Elliott. I appreciate everybody for listening in. We are Nostalgia Mania. We are a podcast. We dive deep into the weird, wild, wonderful corners of our childhood. From pop culture, video games, toys, movies, all that good stuff. And when I say good stuff, it's kind of a stretch for this episode. Boy, we're diving into one of the strangest nostalgia trips of all time, and that is the 1993 live-action Super Mario Brothers movie. Man, now before you get excited thinking power-ups and warp pipes, let me be clear. This movie is not what you think, especially if you have never seen it before. And that's what we're here to talk about. Walking you through the film chronologically, breaking it down scene by scene. And along the way, I'll throw in my reactions because... yeah, I actually sat down and watched this thing for the very first time, and I survived, barely. So let's fire this up and head into Dino Hatton, because this movie was wild. The movie kicks off with, I'm going to show the graphic here, the cover of the movie. Kind of kicks off with a surprisingly familiar nostalgic touch. That classic Super Mario Brothers theme song. And just for a brief moment, I'm kind of fooled into this false sense of comfort. Like maybe, just maybe, this won't be so bad. That familiar Mario theme kind of almost tricked me into thinking I'm going to get some classic game-accurate adventure. Filled with colorful landscapes, power-ups, lovable characters. But let me tell you, the optimism dies real quick. Because the first thing we're hit with is this bizarre animated intro. It tries to set the stage for that, that dinosaurs weren't just wiped out by a meteor. Instead, some of them somehow survived by evolving into an intelligent life. And not only that, but also an entirely different dimension. Sounds like some sort of fever dream. And honestly, it kind of feels like one. I don't know. Maybe I would have felt a little bit different of this movie if I had seen it as a child. But watching it now as a upper 30-year-old adult, it was rather wild. Visually, even for 1993, it's an absolute mess. Cheap CGI, animation kind of just feels slapped together, and the whole thing just feels off. Like it's not visually appealing. Confusing. I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't know what I was expecting, but it's just, like I said, not visually appealing. So the movie kicks off with a woman dropping off a dinosaur egg into a home of nuns. And yes, that actually happened. I fully expected a dinosaur to hatch from the egg. Maybe Yoshi. Maybe Bowser. Quite opposite, actually. A full-on human baby. hatched from the egg. So 5 minutes in, I already knew. This is going to be a wild adventure, and not how I expected a Super Mario Brothers movie to go. So, but here's the part of the movie where we are introduced to Mario and Luigi. And yes, CR Media, what's up, Chase? We are live at 10 p.m. You're getting a precursor of an episode that won't even air for another week or so. This episode was recorded a week and some change before it was actually released on the podcast platform. So appreciate CR Media, Chase Riley, for tuning in. But let's. Did you ever watch this movie, Chase? It's a wild one. So we're introduced to Mario and Luigi. Really one of the bright spots of the movie, honestly. Bob Hoskins plays Mario, and honestly, pretty good choice. Looks kind of like Mario. He's got that gruff, rough, believable character. But then next to him stands Luigi, John Leguizamo. I don't understand the casting for this. He has no mustache. I didn't even know he was Luigi at first. I had to sit there and listen to Mario say Luigi because he looks nothing like Luigi. Also looks significantly younger than Mario. Could pass as Mario's son. Completely threw me off right from the get-go. But here we are. Here's our heroes of the movie, Mario and Luigi. So fast forward just a little bit, and we are met by Samantha Mathis, who plays Princess Daisy, a paleontology student digging up dinosaur bones in Brooklyn. She ends up bumping into Luigi, and of course, sparks fly. This movie really leans into that 90s love story angle, which feels really strange for a Mario movie, but nonetheless, here we are. Luigi lends Daisy a coin to use the payphone while Mario dumps a literal bottle of water into his plumbing van trying to fix it. It's pretty funny coming from the fleet department from where I work, seeing somebody put water in where antifreeze goes, but nonetheless, it will get you to a little bit further if that does in fact work. So, surprisingly enough, this got me kind of thinking. I was going to do a deep dive into payphones because that's something you don't see very often anymore these days. But there are more working payphones in the United States than there are McDonald's restaurants. It's pretty wild. Did not realize that there was that many still around. I'm assuming downtown big cities still have them here and there. So I guess that's not terribly wild. But yeah, eventually Daisy gets kidnapped and pulled into a dimensional portal, and Mario and Luigi follow her, and we are introduced to the world known as Dino Hatton, this gritty dystopian city where evolved dinosaurs live. But the evolution of dinosaurs are all just humans. Dino Hatton is full of slime, metal, and people walking around like extras on Mad Max. None of it feels like a Mario movie. None of it. So the central plot. What do we got for the plot? What happens? What's going on in Super Mario Brothers, if we could even call it that? It evolves around Koopa trying to merge the dinosaur dimension with the human world using a fragment of a meteor that supposedly caused the split in the first place. But who's doing the dirty work? None other than Koopa's two idiot cousins, Iggy and Spike. These guys are somehow Koopa's cousins. And they spend half the movie stumbling around Brooklyn and Dino Hatton like cartoon villains on a sugar high, trying to kidnap Daisy and retrieve the final piece of the meteorite to merge the two dimensions. Here's the thing. Daisy's been wearing that shard around her neck the entire time, her entire life. We learned that at dinner when Daisy was talking to Luigi. She has no idea. Nobody knows why. She doesn't know why. No explanation, no backstory. Just, hey, this shiny rock seems important. I guess I'll wear it. So it's random, but of course, it turns out to be the key to Koopa's evil plan. And before I forget, you can see the stuff behind me. For those watching live, the Pepsi stuff in the background. You all know I'm a Pepsi fanatic, work for Pepsi. During one of the chase scenes, right before the chaos broke out from Iggy and Spike chasing Daisy, you can see an old school Pepsi logo on the side of the building. And I will never not point out a Pepsi sighting in a movie for Nostalgia Mania or in general in life. If I'm watching something, I'm going to point it out. So even in this bizarro Mario world, I'm going to show another screenshot of Dino Hatton. You can see the very odd, very similar to a regular police car, but it's a little bit altered for Dino Hatton because, again, this is a different dimension. At some point in time, Mario and Luigi get into a police car and kind of take off and cruise through the city trying to escape. But I wanted to dive deep, I guess deep as I can get. I want to dive deep into the chaos. And that's the Goombas. Because the Goombas, man, angry, like, I don't know what to say about these guys. The Goombas in this movie are not the cute little angry mushroom guys that we all grew up stomping on in the video games. These Goombas are 7-foot tall lizard men with massive bodies and these tiny little shrunken heads. I remember sitting watching this saying, what in the hell is going on? They look nothing like what they do in the game. I don't understand what these guys are. It's crazy. It's like they mashed a basketball player with, the tiny-headed guy from the waiting room in Beetlejuice. That guy that shrinks his own head in the afterlife. That's what these Goombas reminded me of. It's like the costume designer was dared to make the weirdest creature imaginable, and they just said, say less. So it's also at this point that we meet the villain in the movie, King Koopa, or Bowser, played by Dennis Hopper. And here's another baffling choice. He's just a guy. Slick-haired, germophobic dictator who spends the movie kind of slinking around and trying to merge the two dimensions. And as you can see in the photo, for those watching live, and let me be clear, Bowser, a.k.a. Koopa, King Koopa, was a human pretty much the whole time. It's one of the most bizarre creative decisions that they could have made. And again, I know this movie was a little different than a lot different than the video game. And I've clearly seen that they have diverted from what we normally see in the games. So we move on in the movie, and we find out that Koopa has a machine that de-evolves people, turning them back to their early evolutionary forms. Honestly, I kind of like this part. The concept of de-evolution is kind of a neat sci-fi. It's just another example of how the writers took a video game and made it something else entirely. But this concept was actually pretty good. I enjoyed the de-evolution aspect. It was kind of a cool deal, and you can also evolve as well. So there's this whole subplot that we kind of talked about earlier, where the shard that Daisy wears around her neck turns out that Daisy is the daughter of the rightful ruler of Dino Hatton. And Koopa wants to use the shard to merge the human world and his dino world, or Dino Hatton. It's convoluted, but not the worst part of the story. What is the worst part of the story? Again, I'm going to say it over and over and over again. The characters look nothing like themselves, except Mario. Luigi's just some random dude. Toad, just a street performer, with a harmonica nonetheless. And Bowser's a politician. There's no Princess Peach at all. And, I mean, they've got Yoshi. Yoshi was cool. He's a little miniature dinosaur that pops out and meets Princess Daisy here in the screenshot that you're looking at on the screen. But that's it as far as characters go. But, eventually all the chaos leads to this big final showdown between Mario, Luigi, and Koopa. It takes place in the most random location imaginable. A bucket lift. Yes, like the kind you'd use to fix power lines or trim tall trees. That's where this big climactic battle takes place. As things escalate, Koopa actually starts to de-evolve. And for a brief blink and you'll miss it moment, we finally get a glimpse of him turning into his real dinosaur form. It's like the filmmakers suddenly remembered, oh, right, he's supposed to be this lizard dinosaur guy. It's a cool shot, but it lasts all of 2 seconds before things go completely off the rails again. And then just like that, he's hit with a de-evolution blast. And the big bad of the movie, the king of all Koopas himself, is reduced to nothing more than a steaming pile of orange slime. And that's it. That's how he goes out. No grand explosion, no dramatic fall, just goo. So they save Dino Hatton. Mario and Luigi go back to the real world. Daisy decides to stay behind in Dino Hatton to rebuild the quote-unquote kingdom. And Mario and Luigi head back to Brooklyn. But just when you think it's over, Daisy busts in, all Back to the Future-like, and saying, you got to come with me. Like they were trying to set up a sequel. And thank God that never happened. Man, what a crazy movie. What did I think overall? I mean, I've kind of sat here for the last 20 minutes and degraded the movie, downplayed it, talked really bad about it. And honestly, like I said, if I would have watched this movie as a, 8-year-old, 10-year-old kid back in the 90s, I might have a different appreciation for this movie. I have a buddy who almost got upset with me that I was talking negatively about it. Like, he doesn't think it was good, but he said it was so bad that it was good to him. And there's been movies like that I've come across, and it's mostly movies that I watched as a kid, and I just kind of hold it near and dear to my heart, right? I have a different appreciation for those movies because that's what I liked as a kid. It's completely different here. I didn't watch it as a kid. I watched it about a week or two ago for the very first time. So I was going in blind, knowing the movie was bad. But there really isn't anything surprisingly good. Maybe the de-evolution angle. I like that. But even that was kind of shoehorned in the movie and made the movie a little bit more enjoyable, honestly. The story wasn't terrible. I'll give it that. But the visuals and characters were pretty awful. The actors and actresses all did pretty good. Bob Hoskins, like I said, is Mario. Samantha Mathis did great as Princess Daisy. We're missing Princess Peach, which is kind of weird. Luigi needs a mustache and needs to be closer in age to Mario. But if I were in charge of rebooting this thing in 1993, I'd basically do everything differently. I would try to make it animated. This is right around the time Toy Story came out, and that movie is phenomenal in story and animation. And that's only just a couple years difference, I think. And if it's not animated, then I would at least try to make the characters look like they do in the games. Like I said, Luigi with a mustache, Toad with a mushroom cap, Bowser looking like Bowser. So, is it so bad that it's good? For my buddy, yes. For me, no. It's just bad. I mean, I don't think it can even earn cult status. It's just old. That's it. Would I watch it again? Only if I wanted to make someone suffer. Seriously, I'd recommend this movie to probably my worst enemies. So, if I had to rate the movie out of a 10 stars, I'd give it probably a 2. I'm sure I could find some worse movies out there that are worse than this. But like I said, Super Mario Brothers, I had to watch it. We've already covered Super Mario 1, 2, and 3 on episode 2 of Nostalgia Mania. You can check that out on all of our podcast platforms, or you can go watch it on YouTube and see that. So I had to watch it. It's something that, it's not really been on my bucket list, but I knew that me growing up, being a fan of Super Mario Brothers, the video game, I can't believe that it took me 37 years to watch this movie, or whatever, 32 years, whenever it came out. So, but yeah, so appreciate everybody for coming along on this kind of unhinged ride through Dino Hatton. Whether you remember the movie or had no idea it even existed like I did, I knew it existed. I just hadn't watched it. But I hope this breakdown kind of brought you a little bit of laughs, some cringe, maybe a little bit of appreciation of what I just endured over my traveling week, because I did watch this in a hotel room as I was traveling for work. So if you like this episode, you be sure to subscribe to Nostalgia Mania on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app. We are on all of them. Doesn't matter which one. We've got the movie breakdowns, retro video games. We've done Blockbuster, all that good stuff. But next week, we have a really fun one. And we are going to bring on a special co-host, the guy who was in the chat earlier today, CR Media, Chase Riley, my best friend. We're going to talk about WCW Slamboree 2000. This is going to be a pro wrestling episode, so why not bring on Chase Riley, who was with me at the I-70 Hot Tag, where we covered local independent wrestling in Kansas and Missouri. This one here is WCW, a mainstream company back then, but the thing was, Slamboree was in Kansas City in 2000, and it also... Chase was in attendance for that event, where we saw Diamond Dallas Page versus Jeff Jarrett in a WCW World Heavyweight Championship match, and it was in a 3-tiered cage match. That would mean 3 cages on top of each other, which we saw one previous time in WCW and also in Ready to Rumble, the movie, which that will be a future episode as well. But next week, which the date will be May 27th. We will be live with Nostalgia Mania, WCW Slamboree. Check us out. It's going to be a fun episode. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, listening in. Like, share, subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on or watching on. I greatly appreciate it. Nostalgia Mania is still kicking. We're going through, knocking things out. It's going to be it's going to be a fun ride. I'm going to start getting some special co-hosts in here every once in a while. So appreciate it. And as always, let's get nostalgic. And hopefully everybody loves the new theme song because it's pretty killer. See you guys next week.